Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the first championship of our Australian and New Zealand Combined Racing League calendar. This is the Ferrari 355 Challenge. I am your commentator for tonight, Saturday 15. First time doing solo comms, so we'll see how we go. As cars are entering onto the track, this is a 8-round championship where the best 6 results. And I believe it's the best 6 results contribute to the championship. Points awarded 50 points to the winner, 44 for second, 40 for third, and down to 24 cars. We run a maximum of 24 cars for this lobby, but only 14 runners have signed up for this championship thus far. Of course, this is based off of the Ferrari 355 Challenge that used to be a support category for the Formula 1 events way back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So at the moment we're looking on board Gear 3 Gaming, was the first car out on track at the moment. Of course, this is treacherous conditions at the moment in the rain, and I haven't seen much of practice for him lately, so we'll be interested to see how he goes. These are interesting cars to drive, very floaty, quite softly sprung, so you've got to really try and flow the car through the corners. So we'll jump on board with Gear. We'll see how he traverses into 5th gear down this long main straight. Gear 3 Gaming driving the number 11 Rosso Racing Ferrari. Entering into turn 1. Easy on the brakes, so easy to lock up. Even though these cars have ABS, the braking performance not quite there. Negotiates turn 1 pretty cleanly. Bit wide on exit, but runs it up into... Is he going to shift into 5th? Now he does. Quite so, there's a... Ooh, something's happened with Shads. Must have missed that. Has he got himself a penalty? That's what it might have been. Shad's running the number 177 Azure Racing Ferrari with the shell backing on the side there, light blue with the Italian flag on the rear, and he's being quickly approached by the number 11. Looks like the number 11. Trying to work out who that is. That's Chuck Racing, who was a late sign-off for this championship, so he's running the number 11 Ferrari 355. Chuck Racing, of course, one of the front runners in every series we run in. Severely or greatly naturally gifted Chuck Racing is, just knows how to get the maximum out of every car, and knows how to set the cars up perfectly as well. As they're catching up on the number 37 car. That is Sam Pappy, a new member to our group. He signed up, I believe, last week, and he's moved to the right hand side. Has he let these guys through? Yes, he has. That might have hurt Chuck's time. I think as they round the final corner. Of course, the spray at the moment will be immense. It will be a great challenge for Shads to try and find his braking markers and not run into the back of Chuck. As Chuck crosses the line now, he does a 202.7 and Shads follows him with a 204.2. So you immediately see Chuck right on the pace in these wet conditions. He's the one to watch for this championship. Taipan's just crossed the line. I believe that must have just been an outlap. He's out our #1 ranked driver at the moment, after a good showing in the V8 Tour Open Championship last year, and again a good showing in the GTE class in our Daytona 24 hour that was held just a couple of weeks ago. Taipan runner, the number 153 Bianco Verdo Racing. I love the number choice there, Taipan. Of course, if I can't run the number 15, this is the number I try to run. So, ooh, bit of a mistake into turn 2 there for Taipan. And you can see just how much of a struggle these conditions are. As we see, AJ has put his car into 3rd place at the moment, a 2:06.1. You'd expect that time to lower. AJ also had a very good showing at the Daytona 24 hour. I believe he was on the podium. I believe he even won the champion, or won the event. Drove solo in the BMW. But for this championship, he's running the number 10 Azure Racing Ferrari, using the Italian red that many of these cars have. Granted, they're Ferraris. Often can be busy at times. Oh, that's a mistake! And oh dear, AJD is spun out and he's hit the wall. That's damage, and he's gone to the pits to review. As look at that, the times are dropping now. Chuck into the 2-minute ones, and Shad's close behind, 8 tenths down. He's done a 2:02.2. And Woody, our one of our admins for all of our series, has just jumped up into 4th place at 2:06.1. Just slower than AJ. Oh, that's what's happened here? That's Woody and Taipan coming together in practice. That's not what you want to see. Woody Lizard is driving the number 67 Bianco Rosso car. Yeah, and you don't want to be doing that. That inside curve at Curva Grande is a nasty, nasty corner, and it's caught Woody Lizard out there. There's a puddle right on that as well, so you can't really hug that. You can't hug that the inside of that corner, because the puddle just spits you right and straight into the curb, and once you hit that curb, you're in for a very wild ride. Simo Racing in fifth position at the moment. He's driving the number 8 Nero Verde car. He also joined in for the Daytona 24 hour. Yet to really get a gauge on his speed. He might be fighting in the mid-pack at the moment as he builds his speed up. Of course, very very tricky, or very close to the top in all our championships, and very tough to win in all of our championships. It provides a good challenge for all of the drivers, and you see the improvement of the drivers, such as Triple Rotor Racing. He's just gone into 3rd, and just the 3rd driver to get into the 2-minute 4s, as Whopper jumps in 3rd, but Triple Rotor is running the number 2 Rosso Bianco Racing car. Of course, Triple Rotor has probably been the greatest improver of all of the drivers in the ANZCRL sort of group. He did the V8 Supercars tour in November last year, and he was sort of towards the back of the mid-pack for all of the races in the pro lobby. But over the summer, I reckon he's put a lot of work in, because he came out firing at the Daytona 24 hour and finished an amazing 2nd place, and had speed at times that matched the Daytona winner Shad's. So this guy has really improved a lot, and we could expect him to win a few races in the near future. As in the timesheets we saw Whopper jump up into 3rd place. Became the 4th driver to crack the 2-minute 4s. Now 5 drivers in the 2-minute 4s, with Simo jumping into 3rd, so he's showing a bit of pace. But Whopper driving the 86 Rosso Giallo. My Italian not that good, but yeah, Whopper has shown pace over the last few years in various championships I've competed in with him, but it's found lately that he hasn't had much time to do a lot of practice in these championships, and he really struggled in the V8 Supercars Tour. He was in the open lobby instead of the pro lobby, which was a surprise for me, and he yeah, really struggled. So hopefully in this new year he can hopefully has his life sorted out, and see if he can unleash the potential that he showed at the start of last year. So he's made a mistake into turn 1 here. Better doing that than to spin out into a wall or something. So not the end of the world there. Uncrit Squid, very far down the order, down in 10th place at the moment at 2 minutes 6.5. Of course, he's usually one of our front runners in our championships. He was a bit busy to do the Daytona 24 hour, which was a shame, but he was well on the pace in last year's V8 Supercars Tour. Podiums many times, and yeah, he's has a lot of talent that hopefully can see him win even more races this year. Because he's running the number 162 Bianco Blue Racing. And yeah, I'll be interested to see if he can really start showing his pace. But at the moment, things are not looking good for Squid. Sideways through a scar. He's trying to wring the neck of this thing, trying to get him up the order. Of course, this is only practice, it's not qualifying, but I find in qualifying you tend to want to get your speed up, and before qualifying starts, getting your eye in and get close to the top, and really set yourself up for the rest of the weekend. Next we have Dado Racer. Of course, he's a very capable driver and was very quick in practice for the Daytona 24 hour, but unfortunately internet issues really hurt his chances at fighting for a podium. For this championship, he's running the number 3 Rosso Bianco Racing Ferrari. You'll see the red and blue there. And yeah, lately he's had a fair bit of internet problems, which has caused his game to glitch out a little bit. Tyres not heating up and whatnot, so hopefully they're sorted and he can really try and challenge the front group. But it's such a competitive field, especially tonight by the looks of things, that, well, who knows. And the last car that we'll speak about is Dark Racing 40, another of our admin slash race organisers for our group. He's driving the number 107 Argento Racing Ferrari. Darky has a fair bit of talent behind the wheel, maybe not as quick as the front guys, but he, if everything goes right, he can contend for podiums and wins. He did very well in the V8 Supercars Tour when his internet was good enough and didn't let him down. Of course, I think he finished second in the Bathurst 1000 race, partnering with Chuck Racing. He did a very solid job, and he'll be looking to continue the good driving throughout the throughout this series. So this is going to be, so that's the grid for our Ferrari 355 challenge. It's an 8-round championship with 2 races a night, so you'll get round 1 and round 2 tonight, and hopefully Well, yeah, rounds 3 and 4 next week, 5 and 6 the week after, and 7 and 8 the week after that. So round 1 here is at Monza GP. Round 2 is at the Monaco Street Circuit or Azure Circuit on this game. Round 3 is at the Le Mans Bugatti Circuit, with round 4 being at the Catalunya GP Circuit. I'm sorry, I'm not reading this right. So week 1, Monza GP and Catalunya National Circuits. Catalunya is round 2. Then next week will be the Monaco Street Circuit or Azure Circuit, with round 4 being at the Imola Circuit, a famous Italian track. Week 3 or round 5 is at the Le Mans Bugatti Circuit, and round 6 is at Mugello Short, a great little circuit and a very underrated Italian circuit, the Mugello one. And if it wasn't for Monza or Imola, it could host a Italian F1 Grand Prix. Then round 7 we go to the Catalunya GP circuit, with round 8 the season finishes in Portugal at the Algarve International Circuit. As you see, Sam Papi lapping at the moment. He's so I don't know if he's going to finish this lap, which is interesting. I'm surprised he's still driving. Or are we waiting on Chuck? In fact, we might have been waiting on Chuck to finish up, as did Triple Rotor just leave and join or something? I don't know, but that's the order at the moment, with Chuck racing first, Shad second, Triple Rotor in third, as Woody Lizards wants to quickly get into qualifying, as he's advanced before we could get the standings done. We'll get through the order. But this is qualifying. Qualifying is dry tonight, with the race starting as wet, so this is the only chance these guys are going to get to go flat out through this corner on the slick tyres and try and go as quick as they possibly can. My money tonight will be on Chuck Racing to try and or Chuck Racing to get pole for this race. He's quite an accomplished driver, as I said when running through the field, and yeah, it'll be hard to stop him. Shads is probably a half a chance. If he puts together a perfect lap, he's yeah, good chance. He's very good at setting the cars up, is Shads. Of course, a lot of the drivers in this field will be using one of Shads' setups. My mic cut out there, apologies. But yeah, so Shads, yeah, will be looking to use one of his setups, or most of the field will be using one of his setups, so we'll be interested to see how everyone goes. As we see, Triple was the first guy out, and we'll keep an eye on him. He now that the weather's dry, he came third in practice, and we'll see if he can follow on with a good qualifying session. So all the cars are out on track at the moment, with Triple now rounding the final corner, and he will start his final. Simo's back in the pit, so he must have made a mistake, and so has Squid. So they've both made mistakes throughout their outlap, and have had to repair the car, and yeah, but now we're underway for Triple's qualifying lap. Under brakes, usually brake around the 200 to 150 marker. There's a white line on the circuit, that's where you brake down second gear through this corner. Try and get a smooth exit out. Through the gears as you approach Curva Grande. Of course, used to be turn 1 before they installed the chicanes at Monza to decrease the speeds that the cars were getting. Of course, this, without the chicanes, this is a scary fast circuit. Not using a lot of curb is Triple. I think he's looking for a safe lap at the moment. Looks like 3 cars have set times on outlaps. Those 3 times by Chuck, Gear 3 Gaming and Shads are not representative. 4th gear right on the edge of that rumble strip at the exit of Lesmo 2 for Triple. He's pushing hard at this second part of the lap. Obviously thinks that he was too tentative in the first half of the lap, and is really trying to make up for the time he lost. Down the 4th gear through Ascari. A lot of, actually not, I was expecting a lot of curb on exit, but not so much. There's been a pretty tidy lap so far for Triple. A lot of fuel on board at the moment, 25 litres, so he'll be looking to do quite a few runs as he rounds the final corner. Triple. He'll be hoping that he got a good enough exit to get himself a competitive time as he approaches the line now. Crosses it, and it's a 2:01.1. That is pretty good start at the moment. We'll jump on board with AJ now. He's gone through Ascari. Squid is also approaching Parabolica. Woody going through Ascari. Chuck Racing approaching the finish line now. Darky's done a 2:02.6. Chuck Racing 1:58.2 or 1:58.189 to go fastest by 2.9 seconds. What a lap from Chuck there. Shad's only able to go 3rd, and Gear 3 Gaming follows him in 4th. Darky 5th. Whopper down in 6th. AJ's just crossed the line, and there's a car very close to him. I'll try and identify that car. Yeah, well, it might even be Taipan. Nah, it's not Taipan. Don't know who the yellow car is at the moment. There's AJ. Ah, it's Sam Pappy. There we go, found him in the end, so he'll be looking to get a tow from AJ. Oh, maybe not, he's made a mistake exiting the second chicane. Just lit the rears up, and yeah, that's it for his lap. We'll jump on board with Chuck Racing with 12 litres of fuel left, so we might do 1 lap after this. He'll be looking to try and get into the 1 minute 57s. Rounds the final corner in 3rd gear. Obviously trying to get a bit more turning than what Triple was. Triple looking for a stable car. Chucky looking for a very fast car. Approaching the final turn now. The line. He's done a 57.4. Chuck Racing is lightning quick at the moment. In the 1st gear now. Obviously getting a lot more turns. You saw Triple early using 2nd gear. Car further up the road there. Squid's gone 2nd fastest at 2 minutes 0.4. He's still 3 seconds slower than Chuck, but you would expect him to be able to lower the time. As Chucky, 2nd gear through this left-right chicane. He's approaching a car at a rapid rate of knots. Hopefully he can move out the way. You wouldn't want to see... It's a bit like Ayrton Senna back when he was qualifying. You don't really want to impede Chuck Racing's lap. Pretty clean through Lesmo 2. Maybe not as quick as he would have liked. But now he's got to some slipstream here as we run towards Ascari. You would hope that this car could move out of the way. Down to third for Chucky as he enters Ascari. Ooh, a bit sideways on entry. Enters fourth and runs right out wide. And yep, that car's pulled out of the way, but did Chuck get a slow down penalty for going out that wide? As there's 1 minute left in this session. So he'll have one more lap to be able to try and extend his gap over the rest of the field. In the fourth gear now. As he rounds the final corner. And did he get... was this lap as good? It didn't look like he was using enough road. And it looks like he's improved. Yes, he has a 157.0. I should never doubt. Shouldn't dark Chucky boy there. As he now backs off. He's obviously thinks he's gone fast enough. As Squid there's just done a 159.3 to go second fastest. He's only got 2.3 litres of fuel, so he won't be able to do another lap. How's Triple going? He's rounding Parabolica now. He's finally using third gear through Parabolica. Into fifth as he heads down to the line. There's 20 seconds left, so Triple will be able to get another lap in. Does he get into the 159s? No, he doesn't. That was an out lap. So now he starts his flying lap now. Shads is down the order. He's in 6th place. He's entering Ascari now. There's a Taipan ahead of him by the looks of it. Hoping to get a tiny bit of slipstream. Was that look like a green sector for Shads? He'll be looking to do this lap plus one more lap. Actually, he won't get another lap. This will be it for Shads. Time has expired. Squid's on a lap. Triple's pulled out of it. Shads approaches the line now. Does he improve? He does. He goes third fastest. He's done a 2 minute 0.5. He'll be pleased with that. He's up near the front. Didn't have to punch out a lightning lap. We saw Taipan jump up to 4th and now 5th. Darky now. Coming around Parabolica now for the final time in this qualifying session. Approaching the line now. Does he improve? He does. He goes 4th fastest. 2 minutes 0.9. And Triple will be ruining his mistakes in qualifying as we have Sam Pappy approaching Parabolica. There's a car ahead at the moment. Might be Gear 3 Gaming. No, it's not. I don't know who's crossing the finish line now. But we're looking at Sam Pappy now. That was AJ. AJ's into 9th. Drops Sam Pappy with the 10. Against Sam Pappy. Move up the order. Crosses the line now. And I think that was 8th fastest. So, brilliant qualifying session sees Chuck Racing on pole for the first time in this championship, with Squid alongside him on the front row. Shads and Darky 3rd and 4th, with Triple and Taipan 5th and 6th. Whopper and Sam Pappy in 7th and 8th, with Gear 3 Gaming and AJ rounding out the top 10. Woody Lizard just misses out on the top 10 by 300ths of a second, with Data Racer 12th and Simo Racing failing to set a lap. He will start from the back of the grid. Oh, and I've just seen here Whopper 1 place grid penalty, so Sam Pappy will start in 7th instead of 8th, and Whopper will start in 8th place. And now we're on the grid as it starts to rain here at Monza. The puddles won't have formed at the moment, but this could be a very interesting turn 1 now. Turn 1 on Monza always brings out some carnage. We've seen it in championships in the past, both in real life and in league races. So we'll be hoping that the drivers will be hoping to keep it clean. I'm sure you guys sitting at home will be loving a bit of carnage, a bit of biff and barge in this first lap. an 11 lap race to open the championship. With the weather for this race is predicting to be rain at the start, so it'll be very slippery, and then it'll move to fog and then medium cloud to finish the race out. So weather progression is set to times 10, so I wonder if it'll dry out halfway through this race. Because if it does, these guys will have to make a pit stop in a what would normally be a non-pit stop race. So this would be very interesting. Already in the first round, we've got strategies that are gonna really tip this race on its head. Now, of course, if you're clever, you will put all your fuel in at the start, because you don't lose too much in terms of lap time, and you'll lose a lot in the pit stops. So should expect all the cars to start with a lot of fuel in the car, and if it does dry out too much, they'll come in for dry tyres and or maybe even stay out on wets. So yeah, we'll see as we're now on the grid now. Of course, syncing up. The revs rise, and we're off, and what a jump from Chuck. And look at the spray. I didn't look that wet when we were sitting on the grid, as now Chuck is under pressure from Darky as we enter turn 1 now. We're at 2 wide places. Squid very slowly going through turn 1. And he's got Darky and Shads right on his hammer. Further back, we've got Triple Gear and Whopper all very close. It looks like a lot of cars have been dropped out of this lobby. That's a very, very scary proposition, as we've gone 3 wide into the second chicane. I don't know if we're going to get a restart or not. Woody Lizard's gone. Sandpappy gone. We've had a lot of cars drop out of this race. And Shads is down into 5th. Oh, and there's a spin. There's a spin. That's Dark Racing. Dark Racing's made a mistake into Lesmo 1. And that's Whopper in the background as well. What a shame for him. He was looking to have a ripper run. He was right up underneath Squid's rear wing. And now we've got a battle for 4th now with Shad's gear and Triple. Triple, of course, didn't qualify where he would have liked, and he'll be looking to improve, but that's such a shame for the guys that missed out on this start. I didn't even realise that there was an issue. I don't know if there's going to be a restart or not. These guys are not racing like there's a restart. As Gear 3 Gaming goes wide, that gives Triple Rotor an invitation to gain 4th place, and he has. But his Gear 3 Gaming, yep, we're getting left sessions now. So Sandpappy, Woody, Simo, AJ, all gone. Dado Racer's gone as well. That is so unfortunate for these guys. They some of these guys were looking strong, and now, as we missed out there, looks like Gear 3 Gaming was able to claw his way back past Triple, and now Triple's got his work all over again. But the battle for 2nd is hotting up now. Taipan trying to hold off Shads, and he's battling. And in all this, Chuck is escaped out to a 7-second lead. Now Shads, of course, he's tuned these cars a lot. He's done a lot of practice. He'll be looking to try and get past Taipan. There's a car off. That's Taipan. No, sorry, that's Gear 3 Gaming. I'm mixing up my drivers here. He's made a mistake into Lesmo 1. He's run too deep. gone into the gravel, and it's gifted 4th place to Triple. As now Shad's in the slipstream of Taipan. Of course, a lot of spray behind that number 153 Ferrari, picking out the braking points. Very difficult. Oh, Shad's has lost it. He's off the track. He's spun it. Exit of Ascari. That promotes Triple onto 3rd. So by keeping himself pretty clean, Triple Rotor's got himself into a podium place. Now Shad's and Gear, the 2 guys that have struck trouble in these opening laps, are now very close on track to one another. In fact, Shad's is now 3 seconds ahead. And now Shad's has got a lot of work to do to try and catch up to Squid, who in turn is trying to catch up to Triple as Shad's run wide at Parabolica. Oh, let's take a breather now. First place at the moment, Chuck Racing. Picking up from where he left off last year. Taipan following him in 2nd, our number 1 ranked driver at the moment. Though that is subject to change if things stay like this, I believe. Very close in the driver rankings between Chuck and Taipan. Triple Rotor in 3rd place, keeping it clean has worked out for him, and he'll start closing up on Taipan if his improvement rate is anything to go by. Squid in 4th has had trouble at the start of this race. Of course, was up in 2nd place, but a mistake has caused him to drop back. Shad's in 5th, also a mistake has cost him a podium place as he was right up underneath Taipan. But just come unstuck in this slippery conditions, and a bit of a mistake at that 2nd chicane has proven costly. Gear 3 Gaming in 6th place. Again, mistake at Lesmo 1 has pulled him back to 7th, and Darky, again, he also had a mistake at Lesmo 1, a massive off to start the race. And yeah, Whopper's retired from the race as Shads has spun around. He's made a mistake at Lesmo 1, or Lesmo 2 rather, and Gear 3 Gaming's going to get him. So a lot of drivers are making mistakes in these slippery conditions. I think Shads has got a bit of steering damage here, and he'll have to make a pit stop. Actually the fog is set in now. Just notice it's very difficult to see where the drivers are. As Chuck Racing going slow? No he's not. So the looks can be deceiving on the minimap. He's continuing, still a lot of spray. We have 8 laps left in this race, I believe. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 laps left. Sorry, my bad. I'm not a very good maths person apparently. So 7 laps to go, and the rest is. Again, apologies for my mic cutting out. I'll sort that out for the 2nd race. It's a wireless one, so of course Triple Rotor trying to close up on Taipan. He got within a second on the previous lap, and he must have made a mistake in either Ascari or Parabolica that's caused him to drop back. But now with the fog setting in, this is going to make visibility very difficult. You got fog and spray, a nasty combination. As Squid is coming to the pits, he's this race is not going to plan for him at the moment. Getting his car fixed, he's had a bingle. Shad's up on his previous time to the 1st sector. The problem with making mistakes, as Shads has done so far this race, is that you can suck yourself into more mistakes, and if you by over driving the car. So that's the fine balance you got to make. You got to try and drive as you normally would, try and drive smoothly so as to not incur more mistakes. Triple Rotor, is he catching to Taipan? He's made a mistake at Ascari. Taipan is pulled out away now. That's almost 4 seconds the gap, about 3.5. So it feels pretty spread out at the moment as we conclude lap 4 and start at lap 5. Of course, we've been hurt by very much by the disconnect of about five runners plus the DNF of Whopper, who I probably made mistakes in the the very bent car for Squid. He looked like he was going pretty slowly through Lesmo 1. We'll jump on board with Shads. Sorry, Squid. Oh, I can't get his name right. Chuck Racing. Oof. That was a big moment exiting Lesmo 2. We jump on board. This is very treacherous conditions. Of course, visibility very poor. Track conditions very slippery. But Chuck has kept it under control and he's built out almost a 15-second lead to Taipan, who in turn has built out a 5-second lead on Triples. So Triples, of course, he's driving pretty safely at the moment. He wants to get to the finish. If he can get to the finish, he can get himself a good haul of points. He would get himself 40 points, which is not a bad haul for the first race of the championship. Of course, I can't remember if there's 1 or 2 drop rounds, but there are drop rounds, so those that have missed the start, like Whopper, DNF, like Whopper, and those like Woody, AJ, Dado, they won't be hurt too much by this because they will be able to drop their worst results. So if they can have solid showings throughout the rest of the championship, they would be able to place themselves pretty well, and maybe get themselves into the top 5. But at the moment, your top 3: Chuck Racing, Taipan, and Triple Rotor. Shad's in 4th position at the moment. He's pulling away from Gear 3 Gaming. He's aside from that one mistake, he's driven pretty solidly. He's backed it off quite a bit since he made that mistake. I think it was Lesmo who made the mistake, but he's driving very solidly at the moment. And each of these guys, if they finish as stands, will get a decent haul of points over the rest of the grid. Darky, he's struck trouble early, and look at that rear bumper. He's beating the walls, but if he can keep it clean as the fog is lifted here, that'll help dry the circuit out pretty well. And it looks like these drivers will be on the wet tyres for the rest of this race. Although that being said, there's a lack of spray heading into the braking zone for the second chicane, so I wonder if these guys will have to pit with a couple of laps to go, or if they stick it out on the wet tyres. Squid bending the walls big time at the moment. Such a shame for him. He showed such promise in qualifying. He qualified on the front row of the grid, but he's had a few issues which we've missed as yeah, hopefully he can rebound in the next race. We're on board with Chuck Racing. We'll let him take you through a lap of the track. Well, you would have noticed throughout that lap that there's a dry line starting to form on the track. Now that we're in medium cloud conditions, the track is starting to dry up very, very quickly. Couple of corners like turn 1 here, very treacherous still. Still plenty of puddles around the track. But we're getting to the point now where if you wanted to gamble on the slick tyres, you could almost get away with it. Problem is, you'd be giving up track position if cars stay out on the wet tyres. They won't lose enough time where they will they could jump those that pit for slicks. So it's a very fine line where if everyone pits for slicks, you're all good. But if one person stays out and keeps their tyres cool and in check, it will be worth staying out. As looks like Chuck Racing is starting to catch up on Squid, and might almost put a lap on Squid. As Darky's in the pits now. Now this is a very bold call. This pit lane's still very slippery, but is he going to put on a set of slick tyres? Those tyres look like slicks there. Although they haven't changed tyres. I'll be interested to see what's going on with Darky. He's sitting there a long time, so has he had a smash? I wonder if he's got damage and he's repairing his damage. If he is, I would be jumping on the slick tyres. He's going to lose a lap to... Is he going to lose a lap to Chuck? He's going to lose his position to Squid. Squid going past the finish line now and has overtaken Darky. Squid into 6th place in this race. That is a shock result. Squid will be delighted with that. And I wonder if Darky's taken the gamble on slick tyres. Of course, turn 1 still very, very slippery. As here are the lap times at the moment. Of course, Chuck, the fastest car by a mile, and Saipan, the second fastest car on the circuit. I take that back. Triple has found some speed in this drawing track. He's done a 2-minute 2-1. So will Triple now start mounting a charge to Taipan? Taipan spun out. Second chicane. He's reset the car to try and get himself going. Oh, sorry, that's not Taipan. That's Darky. I apologise for the wrong call there. Well, the track, you can see is getting quicker, and at the back of the circuit it is very, very dry. The exit of Lesmo 2 is still quite wet, so these guys probably don't want to be jumping onto those slick tyres. That's why I was on Darky, because I believe Darky's on the slick tyres, which would explain why he spun out of that second chicane. It's still very slippery, and if you don't, if you're not on that dry line, if you're even slightly on the wet part of the circuit, you will find a world of trouble. Oh, sideways Darky. I would guarantee he's on slicks, because none of the other cars are losing it like that. These are super speedway stuff. Going through Parabolica. What was that time? He's on 2:18. That of course includes leaving the pits. But he's losing a lot of time to Squid, who in turn is going to lose a lap to Chucky in almost by the end of this race. Yes, Squid hitting the braking zone to turn 2 just before Chucky, so this will lose him a bit of time here for Squid, and I don't know, if he ends up making a mistake trying to let Chuck through, that could prove disastrous. not much going on throughout the rest of the field. You've got Taipan sitting in second place at the moment. He's been stretching the gap pretty well to Triple. He's made a mistake in that previous lap, as did Shads in fourth. Gear 3 Gaming at 205.3 is quite slow for these conditions. So it looks like a lot of these guys are struggling. Squid's done at 202.9, which if he not had to make a pit stop this race, he'd be looking pretty good for third place. But at the moment, he's being threatened to get lapped because Chucky's the first guy in underneath the 2-minute marks in this race. You can see no spray coming out of Chuck's car, entering Parabolica now. So this track is very, very dry. Darky in last place, of course, hurt his car and was forced to make a pit stop. Tried out the slick tyres and it hasn't worked for him. As Chucky starts the last lap of the race. This has been a masterful performance from Chuck from start to finish. Is that rain? I reckon I can see rain here. So it looks like the weather's turned at the end of this race. It was getting dry, almost slick tyre time, but now the rain's starting to fall again. This could prove this will be an interesting exercise for a lot of these drivers. Squid. Chucky rounds Lismo 1. He's driven a very solid final lap here. Keep it nice and clean. He doesn't need to do any heroics. He's 21 seconds up on Taipan, so he just needs to keep it clean and he will come away with the race win. And what a way to start this championship. Fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying. He's led the race from start to finish. Clocked the fastest lap. This has been a masterful performance from one of the best drivers we've ever had at the Oz New Zealand Combined Racing League. The lights are on as he approaches Parabolica for the final time. He's gonna make Squid do one last lap as we round the final corner on what has been a spectacular performance from Chuck Racing. Dominated from start to finish, and he takes round 1 out of the ANZCRL Ferrari 355 Challenge. What a race, what a win. Almost going to be probably 25 seconds up by the end of this race as Taipan following Darky quite closely. Of course, Dark a lap down already and threatened. Actually, it's only one lap down, but Taipan will cross the line now. Kept it clean throughout this race. Didn't push it, and he's going to gain second place. So he takes the second step of the podium. Oh, that's a big crash. Big crash between Darky and Taipan as we finish the race. Triple Rotor finishes in third place. He's only made the one mistake, and Shads crosses the line now. He's in fourth place at the moment. He will be filthy with himself. Yep, and that proves that he's disastrous race for Shads. He's that's such a shame for him as yeah. Gear 3 Gaming crosses line in 5th. Not a bad performance from him. Made a few mistakes, but overall gets a decent haul of points. As Squid rounds. Oh, he's lost it at the exit of the Scurry. Oh, the rain coming down has not helped Squid's cause. Of course, he can't finish lower than 6th at the moment, and he will be classified as a finisher regardless. But you would love to finish a race you don't really want to be DNFing, even if you do score points from it. If rounds parabolic now, this car will be hurting very badly. As it started the pelt down here at Italy. As he comes across the oh, he's lost it! And that's the end of the race now. So again, a masterful performance from Chuck. He takes out round 1. I was hoping that would not happen. Taipan in 2nd, Triple Rotor 3rd, Shats 4th, Gear 3 Gaming 5th, Squid in 6th, Dark Racing 7th, and Whopper in 8th. Of course, our did not starters were Dado Racer, Simo Racing, AJ, Sam Pappy, and Woody Lizard. Such a shame for those guys. They were looking to they would have been wanting a dominant display at them for this race, or they wanted to finish the race rather. So yeah, that's the end of the race. I will we'll be having a bit of a break before the start of race 2. So tune back in where we will join you at the Catalunya National Circuit. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Take care.